Holly with Missouri River Soap, and today I am kicking off the Rainbow Extravaganza for 2020. And with this one, I'm going to make a rainbow soap that's kind of like my Sunny Beaches soap. And so I just realized I need to get my lye solution, and then we'll get started. First thing I want to do is put in the coconut milk for this batch. This batch is a little bit larger than I've been working with recently. Not the largest batch I do, but kind of larger than I typically do for a brand new soap. Okay, so now I'm going to add in the lye solution. This is going to be a pretty full pot, but I'm going to be splitting it off fairly quickly. My goal was to be able to keep it in this bowl to make the batch, so my husband actually reworked my usual molds to make this work. It's quite warm today, so my room temperature soaping is now around 75 degrees. I typically work from 55 up to 80 degrees depending on the time of year in this attic studio. So you'll probably hear the air conditioner, and I apologize for that, but it is a necessity, especially with my long sleeves. So I'm not super excited about working with this at the warmer temperature, even though it's still technically quite cool. It's not what I typically work at myself. I just want to emulsify it because I'm going to be splitting it off into 6 different batches, but I just need to make sure that it is indeed emulsified. And sometimes it can look nice and creamy and then break a little bit and kind of go back to the oily. So I'm just double checking that everything is looking good here. This can always be a little bit squirrely when it's time to pour into these pitchers when you have a really full pot. So you know what, I'm just going to get that one out of my way for now. And I want it to about 1500 ml, I do believe, but we'll see how it looks at the end. Okay, here goes. Whoop. Hey, there we go. Alright, so I'm going to pour these at 1500 ml for now. Whoa. Got a little excited there. I'm really short, so I do a lot of my pouring on my tippy toes, and that could definitely lead to a little bit of balance issues and inaccuracies. Come on now. 1500 there. As this is a new batch size, I just was guessing, and there we go. So I'm going to scrape out this container and I'll come back. I'm going to go ahead and color these, but I am working with each one individually, so I'm going to hold off on holding my fragrance oil. I'm going to hold off on adding my fragrance oil until I am working with each color. This is a fairly easygoing fragrance. I did a test, but sometimes it can be a little bit different between my test and the actual big batch. I'm hoping that it will cooperate with me. Okay, so I'm going to set aside these colors because I don't need them quite yet. Okay, so this is just a beautiful fruity fragrance. It's very, oh, it's almost like a most amazing shampoo smell. You know how those can be really fruity and fun. Alright, so we're going to do that. And I am going to go ahead and add it into this one also. This is actually very thin, but it's at a nice trace. So I'm going to bring in this mold. And I'm hoping it's going to stay in focus. It did not stay in focus in my testing, and I don't know why that is, but usually when I get the first color in there, it should stay focused. So I'm just going to add in a little bit of the purple. And that's just going to make a nice base color. It's a very thin layer. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to have an in the pot swirl going on. So now I'm going to pour in some of the blue. So my Sunny Beaches soap, that accelerates very, very badly. So it kind of helps to have the layers separate, but I'm okay with it on this scenario. I think it's still going to look really neat as each layer sinks down in. So we've got this in the pot swirl dealio going on. It's going to take me a while to scrape, so I will probably stop to scrape and come back. I want this to be a bit ridgy, so I'm just going to try to make some kind of like little valleys through it. Alright, now I'm going to add in the fragrance to the green and give it a little bit of a blend. This color will come back. It's kind of lame at the moment. Alright, so now I need to put it into the blue. Set this one aside. Just a little stir. And then I'm going to use this flooding spatula. It may still fall down in a little. Okay, so now I'm working on the yellow. Now the yellow into the green. This will brighten up quite a lot. Quite a lot. Alright, so adding the fragrance into the last picture. And since this is an easygoing fragrance, it kind of loosens it back up, which is so nice. Now add in the pink to the orange. Be a little heavier handed. Going to be so pretty. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? I love that. I should make a soap just like that someday. Alright, so it's time to get this last bit of the pink on. And it's going to be just a fairly solid pink, obviously, right here on the top. But by the time I get it spread all the way across, it's going to be a fairly thin layer. I had not really planned on doing new soaps for the rainbow release because I already have several that I do for the rainbow extravaganza, but these ideas came to me. I had 3 in a row came to me. That's usually what happens. I think it was just chilling out in bed, just relaxing in an evening while the puppy was sleeping, and all of a sudden it was just there. And I had 3 new ideas that I had to implement, and I'm pretty excited about it. This orange layer was not the most set up, so we may not have the best design, but I'm thinking I might make some grooves now. If I'm careful, I won't bring up too much of that orange. I'm gonna try it right here on the edge. Yeah, I kind of want to just push it down, just kind of make a layer. It's okay if it comes up and there's a little bit of orange on top, because that's the way my actual beach soap is. And the bottom layer with the purple is also going to have the blue in it. So all I'm really doing is pushing down this pink into the orange. I'm not trying to make it a groovy layer. I'm just kind of pushing the pink down, and then we can come back on the top with the rest of the pink. So I'm really excited about the Rainbow Extravaganza for this year. The last time I did it was in 2018, right before we went on our Colorado trip. And I just didn't make it last year. Just didn't do it. I intended to. I intended to have a Rainbow Extravaganza last year. I don't know what happened to last year. I feel like last year was a weird, kind of frustrating year for us. I mean, we're not off to a great start here in 2020 either, but looking for things to be hopeful about. So rainbows are always very hopeful. So I thought, we're doing it this year. Of course, I'd already planned on it. I'm actually really late. I planned on doing it and having it ready in March. Well, I got so caught up in remaking stuff that everybody was wanting, and then when all this weirdness in our world began, I kind of lost my inspiration there for a little bit, but I'm back and wildly inspired. So here we go with the rainbows. As it said, we can't have rainbows without the rain. Kind of necessary, so we'll take it. We will have the rainbows, and we're going to be joyful about it. So, trying to decide what I want to do with the top. I did not think that far in advance. I did a lot of planning, but I did not plan out what I was going to do with the top of this one. Well, let's see if we can make some waves. That's what I do on the top of my beach soap. And since this one's supposed to kind of be like my rainbow beach soap, even though it's not beachy scented, this is still kind of the design that I do for my beach soap. So we're just going to kind of make some waves. So you bring your spoon, so you kind of dip your spoon and then whoop, bring it back. Whoop, bring it back. And you kind of do a little spin. Make it a little churny waters. But that's the important part. You gotta whoop, bring it back. Whoop, we're getting into that orange layer just a little bit. This one is disappearing. I do come back along. Ooh, that one looked good. You're fancy. Oh goodness. I've not left my house in 6 weeks. Oh, we're almost at 7 weeks. So, you know, things are getting a little bit loopy around here. And I'm loopy on a good day already, so I'm extra fruit loopy. But hashtag thankful, grateful, blessed. We're mostly unaffected by the scenario, so I'm happy. I'm happy, and I'm making the soaps. Alright, so I could do glitter, but you know what? I'm getting old, and I'm starting to think that glitter doesn't have to be on every batch of soap, because I have a lot of people that don't like glitter to touch their soaps. There will be glitter in this Rainbow Extravaganza, no doubt about it. But I'm thinking maybe this one, maybe it'll be alright if we don't do it on this one. So here we have the new rainbow soap for the Rainbow Extravaganza for 2020. I'm really excited to see how it turns out. It smells amazing. So I'll see you back here for the cut. I am back to cut this rainbowy soap. I just love how the design turned out. I'm so pleased with it. I did get a little bit of ash, but I'm okay with it. Not a big deal. The more I have thought about this, I'm not sure that I'm going to call this Rainbow Beach Soap after all. It is in the design of my beach soap, but I think that's just too confusing because it's not beachy scented. So I'll probably just call it Fruity Fusion. I've been using this name for some sample wax melts that I've done, and I plan on doing full wax melts. Now, full disclosure, this has been a very long time since I've made this soap, so it's actually going to be quite hard, and it could be difficult. Definitely a little bit harder to do than normal. This looks so good. I love this so much. I love this scent. I love the colors. It just makes me quite delightfully happy. So I'm gonna get these back on the tray over here. My release, even though it's been a long time, the rainbow release is still a month out. Actually, it's like 5 weeks out. It takes a lot of planning and preparation for the Rainbow Extravaganza. So I'm giving myself plenty of time to get that all done. Get those cleaned off for a moment. Now I usually just do, yeah, we're gonna have a bar with a couple of samples here. Nice. I love it. This is a new favorite fragrance for sure. And I love these samples. I love having samples to send to you all. I'm just gonna have to clean these off because a lot has gathered on the wires. This is not a non-messy process. We're just going to leave those. We're not gonna worry about that. Love the wavy top. Now I do have some great ideas for a legit rainbow beach soap. It's probably not gonna happen this Rainbow Extravaganza, but maybe we'll fit it in soon. I've been seeing some fun pictures on like Pinterest of rainbow beachy things, so I think that would be really fun to actually work that over in a soap design. Oh gosh, I love this so much. Oh my goodness, I love rainbows, and I'm in rainbow heaven right now. I'm quite happy with all the rainbows in my life. So I'm actually in June right now, and I made this one I think in April, and I had a couple of releases back to back, and that really kind of wore me out, to tell you the truth. But I've just been making rainbow soaps and just trying to get everything fit in. And I wanted to have the Rainbow Extravaganza. It originally was supposed to be in March, and then April, and then May, and then I'm like, well, June will work. June would actually be really good. And then I kind of lost my momentum. I was still making, but I was packing so many orders that I just ran out of time to be making soap. So we've pushed it into July now, and it's just gonna have to be okay. Let's just hope we don't end up into August, because that would be no fun to have this release clear out in August. But right now, y'all have been keeping me so busy, which I'm so thankful for. But I need a little bit more time between releases to to make the stuff. Oh, cha-ching, thank you. Oh, here we go. I love that sound. Isn't that sound just awesome? These are cutting. It's definitely hard. Like normally I would be cleaning these up for getting ready to box them. So they're definitely going to need to cure, but the insides are not as dried out as they'd be if I had cut them sooner. And what we've been doing is splitting the loaves. My mold has 5 loaves right now. So what we've been doing is splitting the loaves and then cutting one loaf into bars. And then I've been getting my pictures done. So I have most of my pictures done and everything, which is really awesome. And then that allows me just to, basically what that did was allow me to put everything on the shelf and work on things that were a bit more critical. And so I think I have some over here. I'm trying to move those out of the way so I can fit my next loaf in there. This cutter is from Bud's Wood Shop on Etsy. Bud's actually here in Missouri, and I just love supporting Missouri companies and workers, and this has just been awesome. I always get whatever I order from Bud super quick. I highly recommend Bud if you are in the market for a cutter, multi-cutter, or a single cutter, or a loaf splitter, or he doesn't make a lot of different things, but that's great because we get what we need and we get it quickly. I just really appreciate Bud. I love this fragrance. It's just so fruity. I'm having a hard time like really placing it or describing it. You know how a lot of Bath and Body Works fragrances, they smell good, but like strawberry champagne's not overly strawberry, or winter candy apple's not overly appley. It's just lovely. That's what this one is. It's just lovely. It's just fruity and delightful. I guess I don't need to clean all of those to cut these ones right here. So here we have this whole bunch of samples, so that's going to be awesome. And we don't plane them, but we do still bevel and clean them all up. We're going to have a lot of work to do to be ready for this rainbow release, and it's quite exciting. So I have a bar over here that's been all cleaned up, so it's been planed and beveled and everything. So here we have Fruity Fusion. I'm loving it. I just love these colors together, and I just love the design. Alright guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.